Hey everyone, what's up? In today's video, I'm going to be doing like a get ready with me style video where I'm going to be testing out a bunch of new makeup products. I have face products, eye products, lip products. So yeah, I'm going to be testing out a bunch of new things. A lot of these you guys have already seen in my recent video where I did a PR haul. So yeah, I'm just going to be giving you guys my opinions on these new products. So before we get into the tutorial part of this video, I would really appreciate it if you would give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Also, I'm doing a huge giveaway right now, so if you guys want to enter that, make sure you click the link in my description box below. I will also have a card on the screen to the giveaway video so you guys can see what all of the prizes are. So today's post notification shout out goes to Melanie DeLeon. Thank you so much for having your notifications turned on. If you want to be one of the next shout outs in one of my upcoming videos, all you have to do is click the bell next to the subscribe button and then leave me a comment down below that you have notifications turned on, and that is it. It's super easy. All right, so let's just go ahead and get started. All right, so now that my hair is out of my face, we're gonna go ahead and start out with my base makeup. A lot of these products that I'm gonna be using today that are like new, I have gotten in PR, which you guys have seen in my recent PR hauls. So the first product I'm going to be going in with is a moisturizer because I have washed my face but I haven't moisturized or anything. This is the Revolution Skincare Hydration Boost Lightweight Hydrating Gel Moisturizer. So this does feel very lightweight. I feel like it's going to absorb really quickly into the skin, which is really good when you're trying to do your makeup. You don't want like a tacky moisturizer that's gonna like disrupt the makeup that you put on top. So you guys saw in my previous video that I got a PR package from Becca. I got their backlight priming filter, and then I also got their ultimate coverage 24-hour foundation. So I'm gonna be using both of these today. I'm super excited to try these out. I am gonna be using the backlight priming filter first. I do think I have tried a sample of this primer before, but I really cannot remember my thoughts on it. So this is like a glowy type of primer, obviously. I feel like this would be really pretty like on its own, like during the summertime if you wanted to not wear makeup but you wanted to look glowy. It just adds like a really nice sheen to the skin. So now it's time for foundation. I have mine in the shade Sand. I don't know if it's gonna match me right now because I'm not self-tanned. I'm actually going to self-tan after I film today. So this might be a little bit dark. Yeah, I'm thinking this is gonna be a little dark. We're just gonna go with it. I probably am just gonna have to bronze my neck really good. So I recently picked up the Morphe and Jeffree Star new sponges that came out. I did pick up an extra one for you guys, so that's gonna be in one of my upcoming giveaways. So I'm really excited to try these out. All right, so I'm just gonna pump a little bit onto my sponge. So yeah, the shade is very yellow, which I feel like would definitely match me a lot more if I did have self-tan on, because I feel like when I do, I look a little bit more yellow. So that was about like half of a pump. I expected a little bit more coverage, to be honest. Like you can still see through. For some reason, I thought this was like a really full coverage foundation. Maybe it's just like a really long wear foundation, not actually full coverage. Today would have been a really good day for a high neck shirt. I feel like this Morphe sponge is a little bit firmer than my other one I have. Maybe, I don't know if it's because it's new, but it feels a little bit firmer than my other Morphe sponges. But I also did hear, like people were talking about that the sponges from the actual Morphe website are different than the sponges at Ulta. So I don't know what's up with that, but that's really weird. So I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this foundation right now. Like, obviously the color is not good right now because I'm not tan, but I just feel like regardless of the color, like the finish is very weird almost. Like I feel like the foundation was really thin and it's not blending very easily. Like, and you can still see like all of my blemishes. I don't really like how this is looking right now. We're gonna try and go over some areas with a brush, I think is what I'm gonna do. All right, so I feel like it already made a difference just using the brush. So I don't know if it's the foundation or the sponge that I'm not liking. All right, so now that I just went in with a brush, I feel like it looks so much better. I felt like with the sponge, it was looking like patchy and weird. The coverage is also a lot better now, obviously, because I did do another layer over top, but I feel like if I would have just done it with the brush to begin with, it would have been like a lot more full coverage. So it does feel a little bit tacky still, so it's not like a super matte foundation. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and go in with concealer. I don't have a new concealer to try out, unfortunately, so I'm gonna be using my Too Faced Born This Way concealer. And this is in like the lightest shade, so hopefully we can try and fix the uneven skin tones we have going on here. I'm gonna be blending this out with the little baby sponge that came in this set. This one feels a lot more soft, like the original sponge, than this one. I don't know. I feel like maybe if I washed this like a few times, it would be a little bit softer. Maybe because my other sponges are really old, they feel a lot softer. So I'm gonna use like the flat side. Now I'm gonna switch over to the pointy side. Never used a little sponge like this for under the eyes, so it fits like perfectly. So I really like the way that this little sponge like blended out the concealer. I felt like it was super easy to blend. It made it look nice and smooth. So the rest of the face products I'm gonna be using aren't new. I don't really have any other new face products to try out. So I'm just gonna be setting underneath my eyes with my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Setting Powder. This is in the shade 05 Fair. I'm gonna be using the little sponge to set underneath my eyes. Now I'm gonna be setting the rest of my face with my Dermablend Loose Setting Powder. Even though this powder is white, it's not gonna like really lighten up the foundation that much, hopefully a little bit. I'm gonna be using the same face sponge that I used to apply this. If you haven't used a sponge to apply powder, I definitely recommend trying it out. I feel like it makes your face makeup just look very like smooth and flawless. So now to contour my face, I'm gonna be going in with my Sigma Sculpt palette. I'm gonna be taking the shade Faking It, and I'm just gonna use this to contour my cheekbones. So now we're gonna do a little bit of baking with my Maybelline powder. So I'm first gonna take the big sponge and I'm going to use this one to bake underneath my cheek contour. Now we're gonna take the little sponge and we're gonna use this one to bake my nose contour. So moving on to blush, I'm gonna be using this Tarte blush palette. I'm gonna be taking the shade Genuine, and I'm just going to be applying this with a Sigma F15 brush. This is like a duo fiber little powder brush. So now for highlighter, I'm gonna be going back in with the Sculpt palette, and I'm gonna be taking the shade right here called Shine On, and I'm gonna be applying this with a Sigma F03 brush. I really like this highlighter and this brush whenever I use them together. I feel like this highlighter, it just gives you that like glow from within. I feel like it looks really natural and pretty. There's like no chunky glitter in it at all. So now I'm just going to blend away this bake. So now I'm gonna be taking a little brush and I'm gonna be picking up that same highlighter and I'm just gonna put this down my nose. and a little bit on my Cupid's bow. So moving on to the eyes, you guys saw in my PR haul that I got these new palettes from Pixi. So I'm going to be trying these out for you guys today. This one has like a bunch of shimmery shades in it. So I'm going to first start out with this palette right here, which is the Natural Beauty palette, which has some matte shades that look really pretty. This one is more like cool toned. I've never tried any Pixi eyeshadow, so I'm like super excited. And then they also sent me this little case with some brushes in here, so I'm gonna be trying these out as well. So we have 3 eye brushes here. I think I'm gonna first take the big fluffy one, and I'm gonna pick up the shade Sheer Sand, and I'm just gonna use this to set my lids because I do have a little bit of creasing because I brought some concealer onto my lids. So now with that same fluffy blending brush, I'm going to take the shade Rose Clay, and I'm going to put this all throughout my crease. I'm also going to take some on that little like flat shader brush, and I'm going to blend this from my outer corner down along my lower lash line. Alright, so far I'm really liking that shade. It's just like a really nice neutral transition shade. Now I'm going to be taking the shade Deep Taupe, which is similar to the first shade, but it's just a little bit deeper. And I'm going to put this all throughout my crease. Next up, we're going to use the shade Chocolate Brown, and I'm going to use this same brush. I'm going to start packing this on the outer corner. Ooh. Got some fallout. This shade has quite a bit of fallout. Like, it is just going everywhere. So I'm gonna go back in with that little flat like shader brush, and I'm gonna take that same shade and put this really close to the lower lash line. So now I'm gonna go in with the shade Petal, which is like a super pretty shimmery like light champagne shade. And I'm just gonna put this right in my inner corner. Oh, I really like this shade. This has really good pigmentation. So now we're gonna jump over into the all shimmery palette. This is the Reflex Light palette. And I'm gonna take the shade Pink Luster, and I'm just going to start blending this out towards my outer corner. I'm gonna kind of blend this with the first shade that I put down. So that's actually a lot more of a light pink than I was expecting it to be. Now I'm gonna go in with the shade Brilliant Bronze, and I'm just gonna put this like all over the rest of my lid. So I'm gonna go back in with that first shimmery shade that I used, and I'm just gonna pop this right in the inner corner. And I'm also going to put it right under the brow bone. Alright, so now I'm going to be trying out some new products from Grande Cosmetics. You guys saw all of these products in my PR haul that I did. I'm going to be first trying out the Grande Liner. This is their lash boosting eyeliner. It says it's waterproof, and this one is in the shade Black. So now I'm going to be going in with the Grande Cosmetics Lash Junkie Duo Set. This has their lash primer and then their mascara in here, which you guys know I love both of these. Also, they sent me this super cute, like a blinged out lash curler, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. Now I'm going to be taking the lash primer, and I'm just going to apply this to my top and my bottom lashes. And now I'm going to be going in with the Grande mascara right over top of the primer. Alright, so now that my eyes are done, it is time for brows. So Grande Cosmetics sent me their tinted brow gel. This is in the shade Light. So I'm going to be using this to fill in my brows today. So since this is just like a brow gel, like a tinted brow gel, I'm going to take a little bit of my Anastasia Dip Brow, and I'm just going to fill in like the outer parts of my brows just so they're really defined. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and take the brow gel, and I'm just going to brush this upwards through my brows. So I actually really like the way that that looks. I don't normally use like a tinted brow gel. I normally don't even use a brow gel at all, but I feel like this just looks like super natural on the front of my brows, so I'm really liking it. All right, so far so good. I am really liking the way that my makeup is looking so far. Now we're gonna finish off the look with the lips. I have two products here from Grande Cosmetics. The first one is a liquid lipstick. This is their Hydro Plump liquid lipstick. This is a metallic semi-matte shade. This one is in the shade Strawberry Daiquiri. So I'm gonna be going in with this first. All right, and they also sent me one of their hydrating lip plumpers. This is in the shade Dusty Tarot, I believe is how you say it. It's like a really pretty, like rosy mauve shade. All right, you guys, so here is the finished look. I am like super happy with how everything turned out. I feel like it's a very like simple and basic look, like, you know, kind of a neutral eye and then winged liner, but this is not something that I normally do. Like, you guys know I never do winged liner, but I actually really like the way that it turned out. I feel like it came out pretty good. You guys know that that's not like my forte, doing winged liner. So I actually really liked all of the products that I tried out. I feel like the foundation looked so much better after I used a brush to apply it. Obviously, the color is not the greatest right now because I'm not self-tan, but when I am, I feel like it's gonna look really good. I also really liked the primer a lot. Like, I loved how like glowy it made my skin. Some of my other favorites that I tried out are probably the brow gel. I really liked the brow gel a lot. I feel like it looked really natural, and I don't feel like my brows are gonna move at all. Now I feel like I'm gonna start using a brow gel more often. I don't know why I never use one. And then I also really like this lip gloss that I just used. It's like super pigmented, and it does have that like plumping, tingling effect. So I feel like my lips are starting to look a lot more plump, which I personally like because I do have pretty thin lips. So yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Also, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, make sure you guys click the giveaway link in my description box below so you guys can enter that. I'm gonna have all of the products that I mentioned in today's video linked in my description box below, and I also have links to my other social media accounts like my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook page if you guys want to follow me on those as well. Also, before you leave, make sure you guys click the bell next to the subscribe button so you can receive notifications of when I post new videos. Thank you so much for watching.